Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is Hack. In this video, you guessed it, more class balance change discussion. We'll be looking specifically at the Sorcerer class changes in this one. Quick reminder that I am creating separate class balance change videos for each class. That way you can jump to the class that you play or that you're interested in the most. As always, don't forget to crush that like button if you enjoyed today's video. And let us know in the comments section how you're feeling overall about the Sorcerer changes. Alright, so Sorcerer class balance changes. This is one of the longer ones, so hang on, here we go. Dark Magic first. Crystal Shards got a change here. They lowered the base cost quite a bit actually, down to $29.70 from $35.10. Although they decreased the damage as well by about 10%. Now, I believe this was done mainly to limit the AoE version here. You see the AoE portion of this ability now deals the same damage as the initial hit, and then Crystal Frags, the other morph here, increase the bonus damage to 33% from 20% to retain the damage of the proc. So this is what affects most people. This is what most people are concerned about. So overall, I would say this is a buff. Your cost went down significantly and your damage should stay roughly the same. So not too much to worry about there. Now under Daedric Summoning, which is our pet skill line, there is a major change here to Conjured Ward. Conjured Ward is the damage shield. So first they reduced the shield size of this ability and the Empowered Ward morph by 18%. They also increased the cost of this ability and Hardened Ward, which is the other morph, to $43.20 from $35.10. That's almost 1,000 cost increase on your damage shield. According to the comment here, these changes were done to make them more comparable to other damage shields or burst heals, because that's apparently a standard now. Okay, I guess that makes sense. Empowered Ward, the final cost of this ability is now $37.80. No longer ranks up in shield size as it has a cost reduction. Okay. And then Hardened Ward, which is the morph that most people use, especially in PvP, they reduced the shield size by 9%. So overall, it looks like Hardened Ward will still be the stronger choice. It did get nerfed a little bit, but not as bad as Empowered Ward. So Hardened will still be the larger sized damage shield, but it won't be as strong as it has been, and it got significantly nerfed as far as the cost. That is going to be costly now. So something to think about for sure. How are you going to manage the sustain on your Sorcerer? The rebate passive just fixed an issue with dismounting. Okay, that's fine. Summon Unstable Familiar. This is our familiar pet. They decreased the cost of the special ability of the morph down to $28.08 from $35.10. That's nice. That's a little boost in sustain. They also increased the damage per tick by 8% of the base ability, but reduced the damage per tick of Volatile by 3%. Okay, so they don't really explain the overall effect. They increased the base ability, but reduced Volatile, which is the morph that most people take. So it sounds like a net increase if you go up 8 and then down 3, but we'll have to see. You know, they also changed up the Clan Fear. Clan Fear is the healing morph of this, and they actually reduced the healing by 14%. Definitely a nerf there, and the comment is it needs to be in line with other burst heal abilities, like Rush Ceremony or Dragon's Blood. So interesting. I did not think this was a powerful heal. I thought the Winged Twilight was definitely more powerful than this. I didn't think this needed a nerf, but apparently it did. And now it's more in line with other burst heals, okay? Speaking of the Winged Twilight, here we go. The Zap and Kick attack will now do the same damage. Okay, so they're kind of standardizing the damage to help reduce performance issues. Okay, that's interesting. We'll see. Will that help in Battlegrounds that have like 10 pets running around crazy? If it does, that's an awesome change. Definitely appreciate that. They reduced the damage of the Winged Twilight and the Matriarch by 69% per hit. It's a major reduction in damage. That's interesting. Those definitely could do a lot of damage. And then the Twilight Tormentor got a nerf as well. So a huge nerf to pet builds across the board. Reduced the damage by 35%. So pets taking a hit this patch. Wow. So lastly, we have the Storm Calling skill line here, and Bolt Escape. This ability and its morphs stuns can no longer be blocked. So that's definitely a buff. In fact, it sounds like these were bugged previously where you could block these without draining any resources. So now they cannot be blocked, period. Now here's another buff as well, talking about the Bolt Escape Fatigue. Basically, each Bolt Escape, whichever morph that you use, costs more. There's a ramping up effect. So they actually reduced that effect to 33% per stack, down from 50%, to make it closer to roll dodge. Now, I actually like this change for my Magicka Sorcerer, especially in PvP. It was still strong, even with that 50% cost, but now it's going to be even easier to cast a few of these in a row. So that's a nice change for survivability. Looks like Overload got some tweaks as well, more like bug fixes. Heavy attacks will now properly update when fighting dragons. That sounds good. Also fixed an issue where heavy attacks were not gaining 70% damage buff from heavy attacking off-balance enemies. I actually didn't know this. The Overload heavy attack is already pretty strong, and it wasn't getting the 70% damage bonus? Wow, okay, so that's something to keep in mind. Overload heavy attacks during off-balance. Sounds really powerful. So lastly here, Lightning Splash got some cost decrease down to 3024 from 3510, but they also decreased the damage per tick by a lot. 37% less damage per tick is a lot. To go with that, Liquid Lightning now lasts a little bit longer, ranking up to 12 seconds, but wow, that's quite a damage nerf on the Lightning Splash. So some interesting changes here, I think, for the Sorcerer class. Definitely a few buffs in here as far as overload damage, as far as streak, especially in PvP, that's going to be even stronger than it has been. But definitely some nerfs as well, especially if you are a pet build. It will be interesting to see how performance changes with those pets, especially in situations like Battlegrounds. Hopefully the way that they're changing things does help lag. That would be nice, but your damage took a huge hit on those if you spec'd for a pet build, so something to keep in mind for sure. But with that, we'll go ahead and wrap up this video. Let me know in the comments what you guys think of the Sorcerer Changes overall. If you enjoyed this video, as always, don't forget to crush that like button, subscribe to the channel for more updates later on this week, and until then, I'll see you around in the next video. Thanks.